Okay, so question number 7 says, Jennifer is writing a program. Jennifer is writing a program for A-level homework. Jennifer uses a program library to help her write her computer program. Describe how program library can be used while writing a computer program. Well, guys, I believe you should know that program library contains what? Contains pre-written functions and subroutines, basically um, procedures and functions. The good thing about library is that, of course, it can be reused. We don't need to write the functions over and over again. So, of course, I mean, that's the same thing we'll write in description. So describe how program library can be used while writing the program. So we'll say that a program library, a program library contains pre-written functions slash subroutines. The student, Jennifer, basically can import those libraries and use the functions in them for developing her code, which could be anything, but for example, let's say the the max function in math library. They're like it varies according to what particular language we're using. But usually, your math libraries, I've seen this across a lot of them, like JavaScript as well, C as well, and Visual Basics too. That the math library, it does contain a max function. Basically, gives you the max of the numbers, the array that we give it. So yeah. All right. So Jennifer uses an IDE. Guys, IDE is essentially where you code, you know. So the IDE allows Jennifer to use both an interpreter and compiler while creating a computer program. Describe the ways in which Jennifer can use both a compiler and interpreter. Very quickly, guys, you should remember an interpreter actually does what? It actually goes line by line, and when a code it is actually interpreted, it's going to go line by line and give you errors if there's any in any line. And what a compiler does is that it actually compiles the whole code all at once and creates an executable file. So of course these are the things which we'll use. So what we'll say is that she can use the interpreter while she is coding, as the interpreter is going to go line by line and stop, as well as point out which line contains the error. So basically, while she is coding, she can actually do that. And now, once she has coded, she can use the compiler to create an executable file which which can be used for testing the program without the compiler being needed. So, essentially, remember again, the first part I'm talking about, you're trying to find the errors in your code. Okay, that did I make a logical error? If there is a problem in the if, else, while, so on and so forth. But the second I'm saying is that is there any logical error in my code? Okay, or is there any error like this? For example, let's say I'm creating a program. I'm creating a program which maybe should take in like input of a number. And let's say, so if I'm doing that, so I should like try to maybe take care of the type that I'm inputting. But what I end up doing is that, my code has error in it, which is more of a logical error rather than an error in code. That, my input also accepts a string, which it should not. Okay, so what will I do about it? So these types of errors, we can also do it, because what a compiler does, it's going to create an executable file. And once we have an executable file, what we can do is we can actually test it without any compiler being needed. That file can be shared across, and you can just click it and run it. Okay, so identify two debugging tools that typical ID provides. Well, there are a lot of them, but I think the most important ones are the clear obvious one are the breakpoints. Remember, we can actually do, I mean, when you click on when you double click on your code, they give you breakpoints, which actually helps you analyze, certain points in your code. And secondly, obviously, are the report windows. Report windows are essentially all those windows on the side which you get, which actually tells you that there is error in this code and there's something else, so on and so forth. Okay then.